This is not good. Worlds are colliding.
We were smart enough to not say, Houston, there's a light out there that's following us.
And what the hell is that? You know, what is that? And I couldn't even talk. I was just amazed at what I was seeing.
This is the Beast of the Week podcast.
So's death.
Yeah, the episode that we're about.
Yeah, the episode. Should I just use this as the launching point?
Yeah, launch off, baby. Dive in the.
All right, welcome to episode 4 since we've been back of the Beast of the Week podcast, coming to you live from the Llamacock Lounge. The Llamacock Lounge. I'm John Cannon. To my left is a hot cup of Joe.
Yeah, I guess that's me. One hot cup of Joe.
Is that your, official DJ name now?
I'd rather it not be, but I understand under the circumstances of today and what just happened, I am now the...
And on the other side of this webcam, I have Slappin' Sammy Sandwiches and Toria.
I love to beat the shit out of a good
Sandwiches.
grinder.
Thanks.
Tortellini.
Wait, I want to...
Toria Tortellini.
Hold on a second, John. I want to introduce myself. Hey, everybody, I am disappointed.
Yeah, we already know that.
Joe?
I don't know. I honestly thought I was going to go somewhere. I did a Michael Scott where I thought I was just going to, keep going at that point, but I didn't. So, just kidding.
So did I, and now we have 28 episodes of a podcast. I'm kind of hoping continues.
And I've never worn a shirt since episode 1.
No,
No shirts worn.
not even
In my life.
No, it's
I go to work.
Yep.
I'll put on a tie.
No shirt.
I'll be man meat.
Yeah, I'm getting
No shirt.
complaints from his work. It's really weird.
Complaints that they're all too horned up now looking at me and my fucking B cup.
They say there's too much nipple involved.
I'm really trying to popularize the urban loincloth.
Please go into detail on
Fine.
that.
All you have to do is make it
What are the
off-white
specs?
and in quotations, right? Loincloth on it, sell for $700.
I
Boom,
don't know
trend.
what details I have to go into. It is a loincloth intended for
Got some dictionary.
I have a learn cloth, and that's what I wear to school. But the loincloth I need to wear to work, and it covers what you need it to cover. It's good for a professional environment. It's good for a night out on the town. Easy access for poops and sex, both at the same time. If that's your thing, I mean, I'm kink shaming you for sure, but
Those seem to be the only things you have to worry about is just pooping and sex.
I mean, that's what the loincloth helps with.
yeah.
All I'm saying is,
It does.
get me a Yeezy deal. Kanye would be on this.
Kind of be all about it.
Kanye would be
in
on. I mean,
cream
he made
white.
a whole song about poop.
And scoops.
I will say we got a right now. We got a little bit too used to the upper tiers of Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yeah.
We got to bring it on down. We got to enjoy the loincloth because I can't enjoy the beautiful ocean breeze. You know, not anymore.
And you know how damning that is in the tropics. You have to enjoy that ocean breeze.
Yeah, if I'm not getting a nice oceanic air in my derriere,
Ocean air,
then
airy air.
what am I doing? All
All right, but Sam, you bring up a good point, and you talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I studied this probably in every class I've ever taken as a brand new concept. You know, you're right. We're a little too high. So for this episode, we're going to bring it back a little. We're going to get past self-actualization. We're going to get esteem out of the way. Fuck your esteem. Belonging and love needs. I've never had any need for love.
Clearly, we got the tools for it.
Safety needs. Fuck that.
Needs.
Safety
I hate
needs.
needs.
Listen,
Dr. Seuss over here.
We're gonna
Dr.
waste
Seuss's Maslow hierarchy of needs.
we're gonna waste a
Michael
lot of my
Scott.
editing time if everything I missay is gonna be highlighted for more than a second.
I know, but Sneeds is good.
We're gonna go right past safety needs. Fuck security. Physiological needs, deprived of that, because we are talking about death.
That's the ground floor of Maslow's.
Is not dying.
Yeah, don't die.
But today we're gonna.
Yay!
Beast of the Week cult. If you have subscribed to our Patreon, you got a little packet with the sticker we sent you. It is now time to rip the packet open.
John, no. John, no.
Put it into your coffee It's just sweetener.
My new hot cup of Joe.
But there's nothing better than driving heavy machinery when you have Beast of the Week sweetened coffee. Everything's going to be fine. Put on your Nike kill shots. You're going to be fine. Put on your robe we sent you. You're going to be fine.
Put on your Heelys. You're going to be fine.
Anyway.
That purple robe in there, just drape it over your face.
Drape it over.
Trust me, you'll sleep.
Maybe match your eyeshadow to the specific shade of purple.
And to early adopters of our Patreon, it will match your new loincloth.
New loincloth. Beast of the Week loincloth. Beast of the Week Kool-Aid coffee sweetener. It's going to be lit. Death. All right.
Death.
So, as we're trying to teach all our listeners to one extent or another, death is the ultimate unifier of mankind. You're born, you die.
Of all things.
Anything in between is a crapshoot.
Death and nipples.
Death, nipples, and...
Taxes?
Well, some people don't pay taxes, but let's not get into that right now.
I would like to not pay taxes.
We would all like to not pay taxes.
And what's the only way?
You know what? That's
that?
a unifier. It's not taxes. It's the desire to be above
not
taxes.
pay them.
That's more unifying
not
than
have
taxes.
Know how you get out of
Yeah.
paying taxes, John?
Killing yourself.
Death.
Yep.
Yep.
And
I was going to say, make a podcast with 5 people that listen to it. You don't have to claim it.
that's true. Definitely can't write this
We're
shit
good.
off.
We make negative money.
So this is
I don't
a
know what
net
you're
loss.
talking about.
So the show is a net loss for us. So you're welcome, fuckers. Death as a concept is one of the most wild ideas that one day you won't exist. I find it extremely comforting, but
Oh, I find it extremely worrying.
Oh, it sounds like such a relief. My God, not having to deal with
it's
any
a
of
blanket I can drape myself in whenever I just make that big choice.
that. Imagine like walking down the hallway at work and you have so much to do, and you know the only way to get out of it is just by disappearing altogether. No worries.
And all of a sudden, Wile E. Coyote decides you're a meal, anvil on the head.
Taxes.
No more taxes.
No more taxes. And know what helps
Wile
you
E.
with that?
Coyote was just looking out.
Wile E. Coyote
Thanks,
actually might be similar to what we're discussing. So literally, and I can't give you hard facts to back this up, but I don't think I'm wrong in saying that literally every culture in history has personified death in one way or another. Would you guys agree?
I'd say by the time you start calling it culture, yeah.
Yeah, with culture you have, explanations of things, and death is like the first thing. You're like, he died. What's that? That stick I just drew in the mud. First personification of death.
That's the death stick?
Death
That's my
stick.
favorite anime.
Wanna buy some
Death
Death
Stick,
brother.
So given that this is one of the only true human universalities, it only makes sense that we've spent the span of human consciousness trying to make sense of it. And in personifying it, we kind of make it less of a mysterious inevitability and more of a figure that we can either expect, outrun, or try to outwit. But when you get down to it, there's really no way of talking yourself out of it. You're going to die. So what we have as a result is a concept that is referred to as a psychopomp. Psychopomp. That sounds like an intense glam subgenre.
I am super into it.
Psychopomp.
Let's make this a thing.
We'll start that. It's like if the Misfits and David Bowie were really involved
sounds
with
great.
each other. Which, honestly, as I say that,
That
sounds pretty sick. If listeners, if you know an example of psychopomp that isn't, a being or an entity that I'll explain it, send me psychopomp music. A psychopomp that isn't sick tunes is a being, a creature, spirit of God, a personification, and its sole purpose is to guide souls past death, through the veil. Now, an important note, which is something that I learned but also kind of had an idea of and makes a lot of sense, psychopomps generally don't kill the people in question. They're not the thing that kills you. They take your soul and they guide you into the afterlife to whatever extent that is in this belief system. But they're not inherently malicious. They are just workers doing a job. And you know what? They'd like to get rid of their taxes, but they got to pay some souls to the God government in order for their road. I don't know. But
hey, it's just a microcosm of the gods.
So
it's kind of interesting that like a psychopomp, we kind of use that distinction between like the idea of death and the cause of death. Actually, like as people, in the forensic field, there's manner of death and cause of death. So cause of death could be like you stop, like cause of strangulation would be a cause of death.
Okay.
But like the manner of death would be can't breathe.
Okay, I thought it would be more like cause of death, hammer. Manner of death, getting beat with a fucking hammer.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
Blunt force trauma.
I guess.
Cause of death.
Is
hammer.
I wish forensics was a little more blunt about it, like the hammer was.
Well, sometimes it is.
Well, that's
a hammer.
Well, you got to use a hammer.
Yeah.
Or multi-tool.
Can't do DNA on that. Impossible.
All you get is hammer DNA. MC.
Yeah. You get any of the dads in the lab, they take a look at the hammer, they're gonna be like, ooh wee.
Just imagine a room
make a barn with that.
Imagine a room of forensic dads just judging the tools used in murder. Like, you don't use a ball peen hammer for that.
Come on,
idiot. You don't want to use a claw hammer. Like, those are two types of hammers I know.
Mallet?
They are the only two.
No, there's like at least three more. Yeah, see? Sledge.
Okay, Mjolnir.
Yeah, Mjolnir.
Yeah.
That's an effective murder weapon.
Got a couple of those at Home Depot.
Now, there's a cannot overstate that, vast world of psychopomps to research and get into. And we actually initially set out to do an episode discussing them. We actually initially set out to do one on the Grim Reaper, one of, at least in our culture's most famous psychopomps. Not a lot about him. Opened this rabbit hole.
Way too much.
Too much shit.
Had to close it up.
We had to like fill it in a little bit. We got a little rabbit. We got the initial rabbit hole and not the entire burrow.
Yeah, there's a lot of bunnies, and they're all dead.
Great metaphor.
So now we're just in the only. We're not lost in the reeds. We're going to talk about a single psychopomp. We're zeroing on this one because it's interesting to us, and we can pick that shit. We can just decide what to give you. We can lie to you.
Shit.
My name's Jerry.
We all knew that.
They didn't.
I've been posting your birth certificate.
That explains why my passport's hung up, but
that's fine. You don't need to leave. You stay.
But so what we're
well, if you did want to leave though, where would you go?
I would go to my favorite land, the land of the coronas that aren't a virus, the land of tacos that aren't bells, the land of Mexico.
Mexico. Oh, Mexico.
Of the border.
Down
South of the border
in
in Mexico. I usually am. Down in Mexico, there is arguably a psychopomp, but has taken on a lot of different forms and interpretations that we hope to do justice to.
And won't.
Probably not. We have a female deity and folk saint, which is in Mexican folk Catholicism, has branched off in a few other places, known as Santa Muerte. You may have heard of her. She also carries the title of Señora de la Noche, the Lady of the Night.
Something that Joey's phone is filled with.
No.
No.
No. False. No.
No.
I realized my laughing was like a little too accepting of that.
You're like
that's really funny.
You know
like
it.
Good,
Wait, but no.
like the good-natured ribbing of a roast. Like.
Yeah, we're like, good one, yeah.
Santa Muerte, she is depicted as a female skeleton in a long robe of varying colors, which we'll get into later, and is usually depicted with a scythe and a globe. She is very similar to the classic depiction of the Grim Reaper, but the connotations attached to her are very different.
Do you think it's possible to get the robe and scythe look popular?
There's a community trying to bring the cape back.
I'm down for that.
I wouldn't want to meet any of those people.
Nor would I, but I really don't want to meet the scythe or robe people either.
I could rock a cape.
That can and should. You're so busy thinking about what you could that you didn't think of whether you should.
You shouldn't wear a cape.
There's a whole episode of Seinfeld about this. A whole episode.
You don't wear a cape. Don't wear a cape.
Talking to a man in a cape?
Tori, you will not wear a cape.
I went.
Toria, do whatever you want.
Thanks, Joe. I
You're your
love
own
this
woman.
support.
You will
Just accept the repercussions of your actions.
That's
you will
fair.
not be you will not be Toria with a cape. Boyfriend of Sam.
Whenever you talk to someone, you'll constantly
may pick
make
one.
their son's friends question why they were talking to a man in a cape.
The scythe that Santa Muerte holds. So, in the sense of the Grim Reaper, the scythe that the Grim Reaper holds is to symbolize farmers cutting down their wheat, in the sense that the Grim Reaper cuts us down as souls to reap. Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
And then
Good harvest.
So, like, let me dive in real quick, because I did some research into the Grim Reaper in preparation of this that we'll probably use someday. The Grim Reaper was the personification of death. This is glossing over. That came up in the 14th century during the Black Plague, where death went from being sort of a predictable inevitability to something that lurked around every corner. And all of a sudden, he's this sinister, ghouly-looking guy that will just come and he'll just reap us like we're wheat. It's not, you die tomorrow, I get you on Thursday. It was just like mowing down villages.
That's what disease will do to you.
Yeah.
Called
it's
the
fucking
Grim
lit.
Grim John Deere.
Fucking harvest of souls.
The scythe that Santa Muerte wields instead has a more positive connotation, where it symbolizes the reaping of an actual good harvest. It's a sign of prosperity, a hope to continue living. Santa Muerte seems to kind of depict a memento mori, memento vivere type thing. Remember you must live, remember you must die. Just facts. And the globe depicts the universality of death, where, there's no running from it. We're all going to die. Just don't worry about it, baby. It's just going to happen.
It's all good, baby. It's just
Gonna be
happen.
okay.
You better. That's why you enjoy your Saturdays.
You just, you call off work some days. We're going to die. Just go skiing. Fuck it.
Yeah, take a
Must
nice
have died
mental health
skiing.
day. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. Treat yourself.
We're all going to die.
It's what the movie Click is about.
A robe will give you a painful death. Or,
Yes.
yeah, a cape.
Okay,
I don't even like
yeah.
The Incredibles, but that was an important lesson to learn.
No capes.
It was.
So, Santa Muerte is not only associated with death, but also with healing, protection, and most importantly, and what makes her a psychopomp, along with other things, is a safe delivery to the afterlife. I don't know what dangers befall a soul between here and the afterlife, but I figure that's where ghosts come from.
If it's enough that there is not like a is there like a Santa like
Claus?
diva? Is
I'm
there
pretty
like
sure-
a lady of life? Because if there's no one protecting me in life, but when I die I need someone to watch me, I don't want to know.
I'm pretty sure literally every saint protects a different group of people during life. I'm pretty sure that's like a big part of saint.
I don't think there's just one person except for like Jesus.
Jesus.
She's like associated with protection as well. So, I mean,
But she's not guiding me. No condemn.
Yeah.
Interesting to note. Progressive.
Okay.
Woke. Only female saint of death in either Americas.
hell yeah.
No kidding.
No shit.
The only one. Although she does stretch into a lot of different zones.
Oh yeah, she's made her way. She's further south into Central America, down to South America, and up into the U.S. I just don't see the Canadians getting into her as much. I could be wrong.
Nah,
But
they have actual Santa Claus.
Yeah, he's right up there. God of
He's up Christmas?
anti-Semitism.
Wow.
God of
Wow.
Coca-Cola.
He doesn't like Jews, otherwise, would have one holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. All right.
Sure. This is much better of an episode, John. Let's continue. What's going about Santa Claus and the anti-Semites? That's why he was so mad when you didn't show up to like elf practice. He was just like, it's elf practice or you become a lawyer.
Well, the elves. Never mind. I'm not going to do it. Santa Muerte had to come from somewhere, though. Does someone want to instruct me as to some of these origins of this saint of death?
I think I've been doing a lot of Mesoamerican research. Could I take these reins?
I would adore
No.
if you did. Never mind.
Okay. Sorry, sir.
Okay, Joseph, would you
I'm
like
sorry,
to?
sir.
No, that's all right. I'll pass on that. Thank you.
Okay. So, the origins of Santa Muerte are pretty difficult to pinpoint. We know that it's a blend of pre-Columbian Mesoamerican religion and Spanish Catholic culture. But we also know that in Mesoamerica, it generally is hard to pinpoint when things started in general.
It's really a disappointing fact of that. Like, the whole idea of preserving any culture was like 400 years after they were just decimated.
Yeah, Cortez literally just burned all their books. There's a couple Mayan books out there that were saved, but the Mayans also died out before the Spanish Inquisition, so...
I guess they didn't expect it.
Alright, I'll see you guys next week. That's a wrap. We did it. Throughout the 1400s, different similar representations which were used as a grim reminder rather than a celebration. So at this point, it wasn't really an event during this time.
It was like the Grim Reaper versus fucking, I don't know,
Mothra.
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 I didn't think you guys were paying attention to me.
You can't just say Mothra.
Okay, prior to the 1400s, Mothra was the goddess of death, but then the Grim Reaper came in. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, Mothra's biggest enemy, the Grim Reaper.
If Godzilla signifies the atomic bombs, is Godzilla almost a psychopomp?
Yeah.
No.
In a way? Fuck off. Let me
No,
have
but
fun.
there are kaiju that could be considered psychopomps.
I don't care about them.
Mothra could be considered a psychopomp, actually.
Give a shit about if Biolante is a psychopomp.
No, that's pollution.
Yeah. So our
Fuck
modern
with me on
depiction.
Zilla.
I know.
Come
I'll
on.
fuck with you on other things, though, baby.
Fucking me.
Like on that fucking futon. The Samsons? Alright. So our modern depiction of Santa Muerte was most likely vastly influenced by Mexican cartoonist Jose Guadalupe Posada. An image, La Calavera Catrina, shows a skeleton in an ornate European hat.
Fancy.
It's very fancy. He's got two big feathers and some like flowers and stuff up top.
Two feathers?
It does have two feathers.
Must be nice.
Must
Big
be
ass
fucking
feathers.
nice.
One feather,
Intended-
two feather, red feather, blue feather.
Yes.
Red and blue?
We don't know. It was a
know.
black and white
Eat the
picture.
rich.
Also a drawing. So it was intended to be a satirical take on Mexican natives that Posada felt were adopting the R's of, which I
Heirs.
said like a European,
We don't.
were
like
adopting
those.
the heirs of European aristocracy. Sort of saying, wear what you want, we're all gonna die. Which is...
But not so much in a
problem.
positive light. It was more like,
Yeah,
all
it
right,
wasn't like...
go be
it wasn't
fancy
like,
boy over there. You're gonna be a skeleton in like 5 minutes.
Fuck you,
5
you're gonna
minutes.
die.
5 cosmic minutes.
Does anybody want to... I've discussed the feathers. I think I've covered the feathers really good.
I think you did a good job on the feathers.
Would anybody like to cover what Santa Muerte looks like more in detail?
Okay, well. As far as depictions of Santa Muerte go, one of the most famous depictions of her, as was mentioned just previously by Sam, is Posada's La Calavera Catrina. And this depiction that he drew is using the sugar skull, or the calavera, dressed up in this fancy outfit. I think they're gorgeous. I would love to eat one. I love Day of the Dead. Oh, yeah, no. There's a traditional Dia de los Muertos food where they are actually made out of sugar paste.
Wait, really? That's so
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like a motif. Like the first flask I ever owned had a sugar skull on it, and I lost it at Boy Scout camp.
No.
I miss it a lot.
Why'd you have a flask at Boy Scouts, John? Were you drinking underage?
Fucking sick. That's where I learned all the cool shit. And now I'm a 24-year-old student and I have a podcast and what fucking worked out.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Are you alright, John?
Look, I can have a breakdown on air if I want. I started.
Yeah.
So actually, speaking to you thinking that it was just a motif, or rather being surprised that it is indeed sugar, the tradition of using sugar in this art started around the 1600s when sugar art was brought to Mexico by Italian missionaries. And while the local population was generally too poor to buy the very fanciful European decorations for religious festivities,
Wait, I thought it was just an art
quickly
thing. I didn't know there
learned
was an
the
actual
technique of this
skull.
sugar art from the friars that were there to spread their Catholicism.
Okay.
I think they were like eggs.
I've seen the eggs.
Italy, yeah.
I've seen
Yeah,
the
I think
eggs.
that's where they got it. They were like, what if that was dead?
Well, actually, so the sugar art itself can be seen in many forms across the, Italy, across the various places that have them, but the
like over in Bertucci's and
Shut up.
I fucking love the Olive Garden's sugar art.
right next to the dried pasta in the big jars.
God. But the most well known is the sugar skull, known as calavera. These sugar skulls are, after they are made, they are decorated very intricately with, I believe, either frosting or like piped sugar.
I think it's piped sugar because I know the eggs you're talking about, so now I know conceptually what sugar skull is.
Yeah,
I don't think it's frosting.
I don't
But
think
it's
so
similar.
either.
It's like liquefied sugar that hardens the same way.
Although the sugar skulls are the most traditional form of the sugar skull, they are also made with clay. They are made in chocolate. They're made with a couple of different materials at this point.
Painted on flasks that children can buy on eBay.
Yep. Also, a lot of the festivities for Dia de los Muertos will have a lot of face painting using the sugar skull motif.
It's sick.
Yep.
I just had an idea for a novelty product, and I apologize if this is offensive because it's absolutely unintentionally so. You make like sugar cubes, but you put them in a mold of a sugar skull. So you just have like a little dish of those with your coffee, and you just like plop that in. I just think it'd be fun. I just think I know they're culturally significant, so I don't know if that's like.
But they are also they're supposed to symbolize like good and stuff.
No, I understand. I just don't want to be. I want to make it clear that my offense is unintentional. If there were to be,
trust me, you'll
woke.
You'll never be like the conversation I had with my mom earlier today when I was talking about literally like Dia de los Muertes, and she was like, "Oh, that's the thing with like the sugar skulls, right?" She was like, "You could make money off of that if you got like bars to do it." And I was like,
What?
What? And she's like Cinco de Mayo, like you could do it again, but for Dia de los Muertos.
Oh my
There's
God.
money to be made.
Cinco de Mayo is already a little controversial this side of the border.
Yep.
And it's non-existent on the other one, really.
Yeah, let alone a highly revered and important cultural practice. But nonetheless, let's triumph.
Yes, let's push on through to the other side.
So these sugar skulls are intricately decorated, which I just mentioned, and will have the name written on their forehead for whatever departed loved one will be representing.
Wait, didn't know that. That's sick. Do they make them up like you would, like, is it representative of their personality, like the colors and the
So
the
I think
schemes?
sometimes
Yeah,
it can.
all the funny people had Sugar Groucho Marx masks.
Well, I'm just saying, luchador masks are very personal, and they design them in ways that are very like indicative of at least the character they're portraying. And I'm not saying it's the same thing. I'm saying that a lot of time masks and depictions, like Venetian masks with the stylization, is meant to depict part of your personality or the character you portray.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think though that would make sense that if because they have the sugar skulls or the calaveras for offerings, so they'll have the names on their forehead, and they will put them on either the home offerenda or altar, or on the grave site, like gravestone of the loved one that has passed. But then you also have ones that you eat as someone who is an alive person celebrating.
That's pretty.
You usually eat all the stuff that you give to the ghost.
Right.
Yeah.
When you think
You
about
usually
it,
eat all of it, and there's a reason why it's okay.
Okay, we're gonna get into that.
We'll get into it later.
Yeah,
All right.
later.
I'm happy.
And the calaveras are made in many sizes to represent children who have passed all the way up to adults who have passed.
Wow.
Which I didn't know before today, which I thought was really cool.
Did you know that Day of the Dead is, first off, and we'll probably say this later, it's not one day.
Right.
But November 1st is the day that it's 3 days.
It's 3 days? I thought it was
Fest.
2.
It's 3 days.
Festival.
Yeah.
Sounds like something the Grateful Dead would have done.
Whereas November 1st is for, in some places, specifically dead children. Called Little Angels.
Yep.
And then, which is on All Saints Day. And then on All Souls Day is adults.
Interesting.
And that's where the small skulls versus the big skulls come in. I read a little bit about how on that first day, on All Saints Day, they use the tiny skulls, and then we'll use the bigger adult skulls for the following day.
Unless the adult had a little tiny head, then everybody's going to be confused.
No, yeah, fair.
This fucking pinhead sugar skull.
Yeah. The Dan Aykroyd sugar skull.
And as we mentioned
Conehead.
Sell
earlier...
you alien skull vodka.
Oh, no.
This is my Conehead sugar skull. Look at it. There's more sugar. I passed it through midichlorians. It's good for you.
And as we mentioned earlier, Jose Guadalupe Posada became famous by making the calaveras in his art as vain skeletons dressed in the fancy clothing of the wealthy. And as we mentioned earlier, one of the most famous of his cartoons was Calavera Catrina, signifying Santa Muerte. Mm-hmm. And even further, the personification of El Dia de los Muertes.
All that, like, that's fascinating to me because I always loved the motif of the sugar skull, but I knew it was significant. I didn't know the significance. It's just really fascinating. The entire concept is interesting. And what I see here, and what I think we all see here, is a blending of traditional Mesoamerican cultures with the overwhelming influence of Christianity that they didn't really have a choice in.
I agree, yeah.
But it's interesting because I think it's like a triumph of the spirit to take what you had, like, and not let it get steamrolled, but just like any good dish would do, blend the flavors. Creates this.
I will say for the most part, a lot of the original culture is. I think there's only one specific Christian thing that really influenced it.
Definitely, and you're right
There's
about
only
that.
one factor.
But this also isn't the only place in traditions we see this connection, and what we also see is an interesting and somewhat unique. I say somewhat because this isn't totally unique to Mesoamerica, but somewhat unique reverence towards death. Reverence, not fear. And this is like a firm root in ancient Mesoamerican culture, and we can see that specifically in the Aztec world. because I'm sure the rest too, but this one I think connects to Santa Muerte very strongly. So the Aztecs, in their religion, they had this figure, Mictecacihuatl, the Queen of Mictlan, the Aztec underworld. Now, she presided over Aztec festivals of the dead, which, as Sam will cover, predate the Aztecs and have since evolved into Dia de Muertos to the point where, in some interpretations, Mictecacihuatl presides over Dia de Muertos. The way she's depicted in a similar sense, possibly more gruesome than Santa Muerte, is a defleshed body. I don't know if that includes musculature or not, with the jaw agape.
I would count muscle as flesh.
Fair enough. So, you never know. Maybe she's just flayed.
So more skeletal versus body works?
Yeah, more, you got, a bone, or you got an abomination.
Yeah.
Wow, that's terrifying.
Right? Way scarier. But she's also got an open jaw at all times to swallow the stars during the day.
That's way scary.
And boy, howdy, do they taste good.
Oh boy, just eating all that fucking fire.
Delicious.
Mictecacihuatl, you know what's up. But also there's like a common trope when you talk about ancient Mesoamerica, particularly the Aztecs, and there's no way we're going to do it justice here. Human sacrifice is a trope that comes up with ancient Mesoamerica, particularly the Aztecs. And there's just what we're going to cover here is a massively understated explanation. By no means a comprehensive description, and just something that like scholars even don't have a definitive answer to. From what we know, a fixture in Mesoamerican culture, possibly since the Olmecs, who existed sometime between 1200 BC and 400 BC, so a long-ass time ago. In Aztec culture, sacrifice was considered the highest offering that one could honor the gods with. So that it was a massive ritual. It was oftentimes those being sacrificed were adorned as the gods themselves. They were a position of honor in the ritual. And it was mean to honor the gods both by sacrificing the human, by also being the human being sacrificed. And that in doing so, they would maintain a balance in the universe, which, again, definitely not an overlooking view, but it still reflects a tradition long standing to see death in a positive light.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, in conclusion to that point, what we see is Santa Muerte combining the standing Mesoamerican tradition with the imposing presence of Christianity.
It's very imposing.
It imposed quite a bit.
One classic trope.
If there's a trope that's held true, is the imposing influence of Christianity.
So, yeah, I mean, you definitely get like the mix of Christian and Mesoamerican in Dia de Muertes. Which it's got like super deep roots, as we just said, in Mesoamerican, and as I said earlier, there's really not actually much Christian. It might be it blends a little bit, but the full influence is a lot less heavy-handed than what we see with like, December 25th being like the birth of Christ,
or
which
Easter
was also. Yeah, Easter was a thing.
Being entirely pagan rituals, entirely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the 25th of December was, I believe,
also pagan.
Yeah, it was like a celebration of Dionysus.
It was also, we learned about this in Latin, like
Bacchus.
Mithla or something.
What?
It was I believe it was tied in heavily to Yule, and they moved it to the 25th so that it would, like, be furthered from the pagan tradition.
Yeah, they were like, well, if we make it about this guy, which is kind of a weird flip that we did with Santa. A different Santa. Not Santa Muerte.
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus. So, the original culture, or not really the original, but the main culture that the worship of the Day of the Dead comes from Nahuatl cultures. Nahuatl being a blanket term for a post-classical power of Mesoamerica, leading assumedly into what became the Toltec Empire. So, fun fact, we've been referencing those fun Aztecs this whole time. They were not a tribe at all. They were a collection of city-states. These city-states were primarily comprised of Tenochtitlan, Texcoco, and Tlacopan.
So is like Aztec kind of like the Greeks of Mesoamerica?
It's like the Greeks or like Great Plains Indian,
right?
That kind of thing. It's a unity.
Right.
Whereas I think I forget the name of the other actual native peoples, but I know the Mexica were the ones with the story of like seeing the eagle eating the snake.
Right.
That was that specific peoples, that specific culture within Mexico.
Right.
So the first of these, like I just said, was the seed of the Mexica peoples, whom were a splinter group off of the original Nahuatl peoples. So kind of like in a timeline, you got Olmec, and then you got Zapotec and Mayan, but we're not going to discuss those two.
Zapotec
Olmec
also sounds like a music genre.
Zapotec does. I like that. It's like it's high. It's like the opposite of bass.
Yeah.
Sounds like
it's high. It's a lot of like 100. It's 100. It's 100 gex.
Oh no.
So you have the Olmec, and then eventually you have, at least concerning, around the Mexico area, north of Oaxaca, you have the Toltec, who during their reign actually did not do human sacrifice. They sacrificed animals and did bloodletting. So they were like, the gods still get the blood, but nobody has to die. So there's a workaround.
Roman.
It didn't work, clearly, because they died out. And then after the Toltec, we get the Mexica and the Aztec nation. Interestingly enough, the holiday was not celebrated in northern Mexico when it was first started for a very long time, and still isn't as prominent as in the south and central regions. Originally, it was celebrated in the beginning of the Aztec summer, which is actually August, not on November 1st, and, October 31st, and so on. And it was not spread through 3 days. No. The Aztecs spent the whole month.
Hell yeah.
They were just like, hell yeah, baby, it's dead month.
Why did every other culture in history get it but us?
Yeah, we were just like, one day. The rest of the day, you gotta work the fucking wheat.
Nowadays, you don't even get the day.
Yeah. No, the Aztecs were just like, fuck it, we're all gonna die anyway.
Yeah, hell yeah. We gotta bring back death in a happy way.
Fucking spend let's celebrate it for a whole month. After colonization,
mayhem.
That's true. It'd just be the purge.
Like picturing that now, yeah, it would just end up
they're
being
already human sacrificing.
It's not that far. But, well, that's the thing. If the purge was daily, we could party for a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We'd get bored.
Yeah.
We'd be like, we did enough. I gotta pay taxes on all these corpses, so
Fuck it.
Let's fucking do it. I've got some natties.
Baby.
Yeah, fucking what's his name? Oh my god. I forgot it. Montezuma. He just shows up. He's like, I brought claws. Only got the black cherry ones, so
and everyone drank him. He didn't get a single one.
He didn't get a single one. Yeah, everybody pisses. But after colonization of the Aztec Empire, the Day of the Dead celebrations were morphed to coincide with All Hallows Eve, Halloween, All Saints Day, November 1st, and All Souls Day.
From what you said about how the holidays change dates, there's actually something that ties us back to our main topic, Santa Muerte, where saints have their own days. Jesus has Christmas. Some others, I'm sure. Santa Muerte.
St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We drink for
St. Valentine's Day.
We drink for the Italian that went to Ireland. It's sick.
Yeah.
Santa Muerte's saint days, she has two. November 1st, All Saints Day, naturally. But the second one, August 15th.
Okay, so we still got a little bit.
So we're even
still got the middle of August.
Even closer tied to the originals.
That's really
cool. Which is
cool.
good. I didn't know that.
I love when side projects stay true to the original material.
Yeah. Yeah, which reminds us, what was our original podcast? We were going to talk about cryptids?
Skateboards.
Skateboards. And we started talking about skateboard and Bigfoot. Here we are.
Yeah.
Talking about Santa Muerte.
Pre-colonization. The unreleased back episode.
Yeah, that and sharks. Mm-hmm. And the Loveland frog.
One of these days.
One of these days we'll make that frog interesting, but it's not today. Pre-colonization, the festival was celebrated like either 2,500 to 3,000 years ago. So that would make it pre-Christianity.
That's cool.
And suggests
Wow.
that it was most likely introduced by an Olmec or possibly Mayan culture. Both of these greatly predate the Toltec and Aztec culture. So they've been doing this for a while. Yeah, they were pretty much just like, you know what? Hate the name, love the game, baby. What's up? We're the Zapotecs.
Fun fact.
Keeping that.
Did you know Oxford University predates the Aztec Empire?
Are you serious?
Yeah, by like...
Oh, I think I read
but
that
the Aztecs make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but like it's a lot older than I thought.
That's old.
Yeah, the Aztecs really weren't that old.
Yeah, they're 1400s.
Really
Yeah, 1400s. Same time Black Plague was happening.
interesting.
No, later than the
was
Black
way- that
Plague.
was
Later than the
way-
Black Plague.
Yeah.
way earlier than that.
Black Plague was the 1300s.
I don't know enough about the Black Plague. You know a lot about it because you researched a death episode.
Also, I'm just, I'm a little concerned about it day to day.
That's true.
I eat a lot of rats.
With the Super Bowl next month.
I eat a lot of rats.
I thought you were going to talk about the coronavirus, but nope, you're just talking about your keto diet, which is rat-based.
Which is
No,
rat
Sam.
based.
It's
My
not
rat-based keto diet?
It's the whisker diet. I only eat the whiskers off of rodents.
Oh, the keratin.
I've lost
You know-
about 40 pounds in a week.
You do realize
God.
that it's... No, John, your diet is carrot-based, not keratin.
Shit. Every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah,
I got
you're
really
supposed to eat
into
a bunch of
eating
baby
lobster
carrots, not
shells
baby
last
mice.
time.
Yep. Chitin. You love... Not chitin. Chitin. You love chitin, baby.
I thought you said that way on purpose.
No. The most prominent festivity... This is a nice little cut. There's no flow there. Is the decoration of graves of loved ones in the buildings of altars, called ofrendas, as we said before. They usually involve specifically Mexican marigold flowers of orange color. The favorite beverages of the deceased, and that it does mean, because there's children, they're not all alcoholic.
Unless they're cool kids.
Unless they're cool kids that died of alcohol poisoning.
Oh, Jesus. That's dark.
That was dark. You might want to cut that.
I'm
Yeah,
not cutting
dude.
that.
Okay,
I'll
cool.
keep in the discussion of you being concerned and asking if I should cut it, but I'm not going to cut it.
Okay. They also celebrated with candied pumpkin, pan de muerto, which is dead bread,
Dead bread.
and the classic calavera.
I got a lot of
Toria, do you want to
bread
talk
in my
about that dead bread?
closet.
Because you like
Love
baking
to
so
talk
much.
about the dead
Yeah.
bread.
See, I live alone, and so like a loaf of bread is just way too much for me to eat at one. Like this,
It's all
household-
dead bread to John.
All I have is dead bread.
But homemade bread, oh.
Are you
All right, let's-
suggesting
so
I
much.
cook at all, let alone bake a loaf of bread?
No, I just started
John, if
thinking
you
about
baked a
fresh
loaf of bread,
baked,
I'd ask you if you were
fresh
all right.
baked
I
bread.
would be
and
genuine.
then
Okay,
fresh bread.
guys. Hey, Raul Hollywood, fucking Maria White. Not Maria White. Maria...
What?
What? What are you
What's her
talking
name?
about?
Vanna?
No.
Sam, are you baking bread?
Do you need help?
Mary Berry?
Yeah, Mary Berry. Maria Berry.
Jesus.
I don't know who either of those people are.
A great British baking show. I'm making a baking joke. There's Paul Hollywood, so I called you Raul Hollywood.
We're just talking about the fact that if you have a friend, listeners, if you have a friend
We
who's
don't,
suddenly
but-
gotten very into homemaking bread, check in on them. They're not doing okay.
See if they're okay. Drop them a line.
See if they're okay.
Like take them out for a drink or something. They're not having a good time.
Yeah, they need yeast of a different type.
Homemade fresh bread is amazing.
But if it happens suddenly,
Yeah.
it's a red flag.
Yeah, because Toria, I think you're a pretty happy person. The last time you made bread was, I don't know, 2 years ago?
That is not true.
It's
I know.
listen. I'm starting a campaign to get it on the DSM-6. If your friend makes bread,
Bread.
check in. Red flag.
Shit. Pan de muertos, or dead bread.
Pandy muertos.
Pan de muertos.
Can we say this like Midwestern women trying to pronounce things at Chili?
Oh, hey there. So I made some pandy muertos, and you know,
No, you put way too much. Just hola,
ba-
como estás?
Hola.
Gracias.
Love
Gracias.
this stuff.
Shit.
Have you been to the Rand Paul Museum?
I'll have the salsa roja.
You gotta channel
Yeah.
your ditka.
Yeah.
Your inner
Ditka.
ditka.
My dick.
Dicka. dead bread.
I like a
or-
big plate of enchiladas.
You got any nachos?
I love that
What?
salsa.
What's this green
salsa.
stuff?
That's
the
guacamole,
sriracha.
Deborah.
Whatever it is,
The
it's gonna give me
sriracha.
heartburn.
Deb, that's guacamole.
No, they made it next to the table, Martha.
My dad legitimately calls sriracha sriracha.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
And
a
it's
fun way
true.
to say it, though. That's
My mom says sriracha as well. She's like, I love this sriracha sauce, Sam. Have you tried it? I'm like, Mom, it's 2019, and I'm a millennial.
I think my dad says it as a joke. I don't think your mom says it as a joke.
My dad doesn't know
My
the
mom
difference
also had-
between huevos rancheros and chili rellenos. Wildly different dishes, so...
I'm sure it's good either way if your dad's making it.
No, they're both...
Yeah.
Well, he's never made chili rellenos, but anyway.
Dead bread, or pan de muertos, is another key food that we just mentioned is placed on the ofrendas, or grave sites. When offered to the dead, this bread symbolizes a fraternal offering to the souls. And while the most popular version of pan de muertos was made from a commercial purpose,
Wait,
like
to
the
what
most popular one.
To what extent was it made to a commercial purpose?
So the site that I was reading said that the most well-known dead bread is popularized for a controversially commercial purpose.
So is it kind of like how we all know Santa because of Coca-Cola? And then we forgot
Maybe.
about Jesus?
What?
Maybe.
So Santa?
They popularized the fat man image.
Santa?
Santa's not real?
What?
So the bread that's like the quote unquote like commercially made one started sometime between 1940 and 1960s in Mexico City. And that's just the one that can be found almost everywhere. It's round with a ball in the center and 4 to 8 sticks made out of dough on the top, and they're supposed to resemble human bones.
That's
And
sick.
it's flavored with orange blossom water and covered in sugar or sesame seeds.
Yeah, it sounds fucking hype.
Yeah, no, it
delicious.
sounds really good.
I don't. If it's good bread, I ain't making a sandwich out of that, and I'm not making a sandwich out of this.
This is better
Yeah.
than the penicillin in my cupboard.
Probably.
I fucking hope so.
The
Fucking
site that
spirits
I
are gonna
was
be angry.
the site that I was using mentioned that at the time of creation, the bread was widely criticized because of its purposes were purely commercial.
They have like a Day of the Dead Charlie Brown where Linus gets on the stage and lights please, and he tells the actual story. How do we get? It can't be so commercial. Just appreciate the little damn tree.
Yeah,
Appreciate my little stupid tree.
my little stupid tree.
I don't think I would.
However, although this like very popular version is found in most places, a number of different locales will have their own local version of bread dead. Bread
Red Dead Redemption.
Bread dead.
God damn it, Dutch! You've unleavened it.
Arthur, that's a bad bake, Arthur.
Dutch.
That was completely unintentional too.
Have you tried the bread to eat, Arthur?
Different locales will have different local versions of dead bread.
Typically.
Yep.
And
Red Dead.
these include but are not limited to Oaxaca's use of sweet bread. Oaxaca. Oaxaca?
Yeah,
It's a hua?
Oaxaca,
Oh, okay.
like Waluigi.
As long as you're not saying like Oaxaca, I guess we're okay. Oaxaca.
They have that sweet bread in Oaxaca.
It's got
These-
sesame seeds on it.
Guys,
These locales
you can put a tub of
include...
Jiffy on that. Oh,
Oh,
that was
gross.
Midwestern. I'm sorry.
I just dip it right in the fluff.
That's definitely not Midwestern. That's New England, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love our gross fucking white shit.
Hey,
I
you
love
shut the
fluff.
fuck up about fluff. Fluff's amazing.
Fluff is great.
Fluff
Get
is
out of
low
here.
tier peanut butter friend for me.
Fuck you.
High tier pickles or bananas.
See, you've just proved why you're wrong.
Can you please leave my house?
Hey Tori, you know that sandwich I made yesterday that you said smelled really good? That was a chicken bacon ranch pickle peanut butter sandwich. All right.
All right.
I'm making some Scooby Doo shit.
Yeah, you just fucking baked with a dog like Shaggy was.
What the fuck?
These locales
really good.
include, but are not limited to, huaca, which uses sweetbread decorated with marzipan heads, puebla, where regular bread is covered with red sugar for the ofrendas of adults and white sugar for ofrendas of children. And in other areas, sweet bread is shaped like skeletons, skulls, animals, angels, or flowers and decorated with seeds or sugar or colored icing.
I want skull bread.
Right?
All my bread.
want it now.
All right. You have a nice bowl of chili. You want a bread bowl. Skull bread.
bro bowl.
Skull bread bowl.
It's like you're eating it out of it. You take the crown off the skull, scoop out the brains.
Ooh, just like in Saw 3.
Yeah, the yeasty brains.
Jesus.
Damn. I'm learning a lot about motifs and food, and it's just so good.
More things should be skull shaped.
I
should be
agree. I think a
skull-shaped.
lot more things should be skull shaped.
Yeah. And then the tagline can be like, get some head with this bread.
Get
So,
some
like-
head bread.
The kids love it. And the best part about all these delicious things that we're talking about, these breads and these candied pumpkins and this tequila, the food is indeed eaten by the families and people honoring the dead. They don't just leave it there for the rats and the raccoons and the chupacabras. They eat that because sometimes they have a night-long picnic in the cemetery. The ghosts don't mind.
Sounds amazing.
There's actually,
Yeah.
I saw this in a documentary, and I think it's really interesting. There's
The fucking lake?
no.
What?
What the fuck? No. You were so excited. I haven't the slightest clue what you're talking about. No.
Poor Sam. He just instantly deflated.
Well, I'll talk about that after you're done your thing.
But there's a place that I know of. I don't know if it's multiple places, but in Mexico where people will actually effectively make condos. It's like a mausoleum but open air, and they make a condo around their loved ones' tombs, and they just live there.
What?
Oh, that's fucking
Yeah, they look cozy as shit, to be honest.
damn.
Weird.
Cool.
I thought you were referencing how there, I think, is a specific city that has a graveyard in an island.
That's
or on
right.
an island. And for the Day of the Dead, they celebrate during the day, and then they take boats that they call mariposas, which are butterflies, to the graveyard, and then they celebrate at night at Graveyard Island.
That's
That's
amazing.
badass.
Yeah, that's way better than Halloween.
How come
That's
all we have
beautiful.
is crying in suits?
Yeah.
That's all we do when you die. You cry in suits, and then you just never say anything real about that person again.
The only holiday that we have where we can even be a little spooky, everybody's a sexy minion. What the fuck?
Yeah, Thanksgiving fucking sucks.
What? No. Hey guys, I'm here for the turkey. Why are you a... What?
What are you?
Are you Gru with a loincloth? Yeah.
Listen, I get mistaken for that a lot, and I'm just like, no, I'm just the IT guy. I'm going to fix your computer.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you do love your loincloth. The reason why the ghosts don't mind if you eat their food, by the way, is because the souls of the dead have already received all of the nutrition from the food. So when you leave that bottle of tequila, don't worry. The ghosts got all of the nutrition from it.
So you're telling me every time someone's like, that's all empty carbs, I can just say, well, the ghost took the rest of it.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, I'm sharing with ghosts.
Yeah, okay. Do you want my ghost to be unnurtured and non-nourished? Nourishing?
What?
You want my ghost to be unnourished?
We've lost him.
Sorry.
We're dead.
My dead bread is turning into dead toast.
I think
One-
burnt toast.
One last little known fact after I got off my soapbox. Then this one's a fun fact.
Get off my soap.
Dia de Muertes did not have a parade until the release of the James Bond movie Spectre.
That's extremely recent. That's like 2015.
Yeah, they didn't do a parade for it. They at all. I think the people that wrote Spectre were just like, Day of the Dead and Carnival are like the same thing. Fuck
You're
it.
basically the same thing.
Basically the same thing. So give him a parade. James Bond isn't just gonna fucking go to an island graveyard and kill a guy. He's gonna go through a parade.
I think he did that already, but
yeah, probably yeah.
But what a power combo though.
Yeah,
Carnival, Day of the Dead, dude. Honestly,
good idea.
Fantastic idea.
sick.
How good of an idea?
Good idea.
Good idea.
Almost as good as this idea.
So
because
that's
it's
happening.
literally this idea. Because it did happen.
That's cool.
The movie increased so much tourism for the Day of the Dead, the Mexican government, who also made the Day of the Dead a national holiday by this time, instated a parade. They were like, this holiday has a parade now. Everybody's here and they're expecting a parade in James Bond.
It's wild to me that the parade for Dia de los Muertos is younger than the relationship of me and Sam.
Yeah, we saw Spectre in theaters.
That's wild.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
That's so cool
And-
though.
Which is, it's fun to think, though, that the influencers on this original pre-classic festival of Mesoamerica are Jesus and James Bond.
I've never felt more personally attached to the Mexican culture than knowing that James Bond and Jesus influenced them so much.
I mean, for like the one got the date, one got the parade in there, then they kiss.
Yeah.
And they
That's going to be in the new James Bond. Idris Elba, he's going to kiss Jesus.
My favorite fanfic.
Thank you. I wrote it.
Yeah. Well,
Is he in the new James Bond?
It's called Dr. No Please.
Dr. No, please.
Oh no.
But so we've covered the roots of Santa Muerte and how she came to be so canonized as a saint, but in a lot of ways deified into a god herself. But I want to know more about how exactly she's celebrated and worshipped in her spheres.
I can tell you about that.
Joey's gonna talk.
How many spheres does she have?
Well, she's got a globe.
It's actually 2.5 spheres.
How many demons?
That's what a globe looks like.
It's 2.5 pi.
Yeah, that's the
Legions
thing.
of spheres.
Everyone talks about how Earth's flat. It's only like partially flat because there's 2 globes and then a semicircle.
Nobody ever talks about the other globe.
Yeah, there is a flat Earth. There's just 2.5 round Earths.
So does that count as still having a flat Earth, or is that just
It's
like
kind of like
partially
an empty
correct.
Earth.
does it get negated from the round Earth?
That's
You-
just
you-
a cross section.
No,
well, yeah.
it's an empanada because you got the round Earth on the center, and then you got the flat Earth, and you flip it over,
Yeah.
and you make a ravioli out of it.
All I'm saying is broken clocks.
Broken clock. Time's a flat circle.
The Earth's a flat circle, and then
True.
2 round
And it's
circles and a half a round circle. You heard it here first,
Hey,
folks.
John.
It's
I have
an
a quick
F-150, baby.
question.
What?
What circles do you know that are not round?
Square ones,
Yeah, the sharp circles.
Got him.
oblong ones, ovals,
Those sharp ones.
What's prisms?
Prison.
Fibonacci.
Half the shit you're saying are not circles.
Listen, that's not my fault. You don't let creativity in your mind, and you let this stupid geometry shit that your 9th grade teacher pumped into your young sponge brain soak
Yeah.
in your adult life.
Don't be limited by
John was getting something different in his sponge brain. He was getting some Sugar Skull Flask tequila. And now his brain is rigid.
It's rigid and flat
Hard.
like the earth.
Believe that.
You guys didn't iron your brains through adolescence.
No.
Fuck your wrinkly brains.
I tried.
I know you did.
got smooth
Tried a little harder than me.
Tried harder.
You
Didn't
got
work.
you got smooth brain, baby. You could slip and slide right off of that shit.
Oh yeah, just like off the side of the flat earth after the other 2 round earths.
It's a frictionless
Yeah,
surface.
the 2 rounders get it. They eat it.
Let me tell you about the worship of Santa Muerte.
I would love that. Thanks, you.
How about that? How about that? The worship of Santa Muerte also includes processions along with prayers to curry her favor.
So it kind of I don't know if there was an official parade, but my understanding is there were processions, paradelets.
That doesn't sound as exciting as a parade.
Like a parade's got like whistles and
you can have like
I don't think when I die I call it the funeral parade.
I believe
I want a funeral parade. Are you kidding me?
I believe the travel from the home to the cemetery was usually a processional type activity.
I'm just saying there's a line.
But is it like
and
a
I don't know where I
joyous
draw.
procession or is it like a business procession? Because you know how you have processions.
I think the parade that we were talking about, influenced by James Bond, didn't end at a graveyard. It just kind of went.
Yeah, it's like a traditional parade, whereas the
Are they still
Fun
going?
fact, parades actually never have a planned route.
that is
Until
false.
people stop. I'm going to go fart in the bathroom real quick. I'll be back.
All right, good
You're
luck.
alone in that room. You can fart wherever you want.
Yeah.
I know, but you might not edit it out, and I might forget to find it.
You have a. I won't edit it.
Can't let people know that I fart.
The fans will hate me, he says.
Fans do hate you.
That probably still got picked up.
That was a loud
That
fart.
fart sounded like the trumpets in the Santa Muerte parade.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, when the shits. Oh, when the shits go marching out. Talk to me
how
about
I
worship,
hope
baby.
It's not in my boxers. Oh, when the shits come rolling out.
That was beautiful. I don't really know how to segue on from that.
Just kidding. It's okay. You don't have
It's
to.
a cold
Yeah,
start.
we haven't been so far, so you're good. That would be breaking the fucking flow if you
Break the
it.
flow if it flows.
All right, so Senora de la Noche is worshipped by those who face the dangers of working at night, such as the cabbies, the cops, the bartenders, the soldiers, John, the prostitutes,
Hey, we said we wouldn't do that.
Sex worker.
the sex workers.
Thank you.
I probably shouldn't laugh when I say that.
I think it's
Just to
better
the
to say
point.
prostitute with a straight face
Yeah,
than
then-
laugh while you say sex worker.
It's just the word sex makes Joey giggle.
It's a funny word. All right,
He's prostitute and he just knows
Put
his
some oomph
family.
into those, Joe. Why would they know night? Tell me about the night.
cabbies,
Tell me about
She's
the night.
Batman.
cops,
Santa Morte's Batman. Prove me wrong.
Batman. Batman, you know, did I say John yet?
Yeah, you said John.
Yeah, but then you
I'd like to
laughed at-
reiterate.
Okay, me.
John,
Yep.
sex workers. Was that
Said
dead?
those in the same
was that-
breath
was
a little
that-
bit there.
Yeah, it was yeah.
Well,
You know what I'm saying. If you know, you know.
Well, you know, I
fucking hosting fees.
But as we mentioned before, like 25 minutes ago, she's garbed in different colors, and the colors actually depict different requests. Right. So the white, dressed as a bride, can symbolize gratitude, purity, and cleansing.
And getting married.
John, I've never seen you wear white anything before.
I wear white shirts frequently. I wear almost exclusively
and
black
you're-
pants and white shirts.
Including currently.
Interesting.
This is great,
Yeah,
but
and we can see
Because
all the sweat
black is
drip
protection
through.
from magic, negative forces, or direct these powers to enemies.
yeah, listen,
This is a powerful combination.
my pants deflect dark forces, and my shirts bring in gratitude
They
and
let everyone know he's
pride.
still a virgin.
Listen, I'm just
My
gonna
shirts are a bit more of a mom
John just has a
magnet.
collection of brides at this point.
listen.
Okay.
They prefer to be called my harem, and I told them that.
and
You
no.
told them that.
I told them that they preferred that.
Right after he gave him the special Beast of the Week tea.
I respect women.
No, you don't. I know you.
We're gonna keep going. Are we still going with colors now?
Yeah, we're still on colors.
You didn't
I
finish.
thought we were just gonna forego the colors
We've never
at that
gone
point.
off.
I was like, and that's all our time for today. We got red for love and passion. Gold is
Makes sense.
is what?
Red and love and passion makes sense because that's
Does it?
Valentine's Day.
Does it?
I see
Gold
red
is
when
money,
I'm
success,
passionate.
prosperity. Green, legal and justicial matters. Yellow, health, can be seen in rehab centers. Black, we went
Bro,
over.
you're gonna have to
Japan.
not force your way through.
I
all
did it.
these.
It's over.
He's trying to so that you don't cut him off before he gets to blue.
We all need to cut off. We need
Wisdom
to
used by
banter.
students. Right.
Used by
Red is for
students.
love and passion.
That's good.
Gold is money, success.
All right,
and
fuck it. We'll
prosperity.
just go. Fuck it.
Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
It's prosperity. Green, justice and
Yes.
legal matters. Interesting.
I don't associate green with justice.
Yeah, neither do I. Or legal stuff, but whatever.
Usually
yellow,
legal matters end up with money, success, and prosperity, though.
Yeah.
Well,
If you're on the
or
good
the
side.
opposite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Negative
that's true.
forces.
Yellow is for health and can be seen in rehabilitation centers.
Which, we'll kind of get into more of with Santa Muerte with that.
Good. Black is the protection from magic, negative forces, or direct these powers to enemies, like John's pants. Blue is wisdom and used by students.
So, with black,
We just turned into fucking NPR.
Hopefully.
No, I think we just talked.
Right,
I think
thanks,
we just
everyone.
turned into like the backstory between lightsabers.
all right, if black is both protection from magic, but also to direct these powers to enemies, is it fair to say that it is rubber and you are glue? Whatever you do
a
bounces off me and
It's
sticks
a
to you.
reflector.
Wow. I would say so, yes.
You go with some black blue.
I'm a genius. I never wear blue. That would explain my academics.
You do have those beautiful blue eyes, though.
I literally don't have blue. I have brown eyes. What does brown mean? I guess health, but I'm not.
Poop.
I'm a little, yeah.
It means
I once had a girlfriend who told me my eyes are brown because I'm full of shit, so I'm single.
Yeah. I'm sorry, John. I was just trying to go off with the fanfics I've been writing of you.
Oh.
You're a little far away from the camera. I can't see, but I have artist renditions all over behind my computer.
No, I know you. You definitely spend a lot of money commissioning furry art of me.
Lot of money. You make a really good armadillo. Like a really fuckable armadillo.
Oh, no.
I am strangely flattered. Because you chose
I have a couple
armadillo,
where you're flat, too. That's also a thing I like.
where I'm flattened.
Yeah, you're just flat Stanley.
Dude, I gotta say, if I wasn't
I
furry,
inflate
I'd
you.
be an armadillo. I used to say pelican, but I like armadillo way more. All I'm saying is, furries, stop being wolves, stop being cats, get creative.
Be a piano.
Be a piano.
This is my persona. It's a piano.
My piansona.
My piano, my Beethoven sona.
Well, now we're just getting into people who think they're Mozart.
I'm more Crayola.
So if I'm to understand here, everything about Santa Muerte is a little too cool for church.
Yeah.
One way to say it,
Fair.
yeah.
They hate it.
No, they fucking, from my understanding, they do not like Santa Muerte.
There is some controversy behind the worship of Santa Muerte. It's actually been officially condemned by the Catholic Church, like all cool things, calling it idol worship.
Idol worship sounds like the coolest part of sinning.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Don't we kind of do that? And
That's this entire show is idol worship.
oh, yeah.
I worship.
Worshipping the beasts that we cover?
Are you not?
I would say,
That's a prereq to being on this show.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
Get with the
shit.
time.
Where's your shrines?
Where's your shrines?
we have them hung up against
Literally
against the wall
have
here.
the Yeti and Mothman right behind me next to a 50 caliber bullet and a coelacanth.
And Chocula
have-
and
Boo
Blueberry and Frankenberry.
Frankenberry.
And I have
I
John
have
as the fuckable
An
armadillo.
alien holding dynamite and a bomb.
Cool.
Not bad.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, you worship a thing. Well, then, yeah, we're all idol worshippers. Idolatry.
Idolatry. So as a result, many are severing ties with the church entirely, which makes sense if they've banned
That's a
you.
badass reaction, though.
That is. Her
I think
fa-
that
Fuck
includes
you,
the-
I'm
the
making my
Mexican
own
government.
church with blackjack and hookers. But literally,
Literally, yeah. That's fun. That's a fun time.
right?
So her followers often come from people struggling under adversity. Typically they'd already be condemned by the Catholic Church as they're pretty picky with the people they want to follow them. This would include sex workers, drug traffickers, gang members, counterfeiters. Is there a lot of those nowadays? Counterfeiters still?
It's less so counterfeiters. I mean,
It's easier to do stuff with credit cards.
I don't know about
warrants and
counterfeiting
shit?
money.
Yeah, I don't know about pesos, but it's also people like all the people who counterfeit goods.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of that, especially down there.
Did you know a different form of currency in, I think, it's either Honduras or Nicaragua is RuneScape memberships?
That's sick.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Because
That's
you
a
could-
joke.
Nope.
No?
No. People actually quit their job to make more money playing RuneScape because you can sell the memberships as an item in game, and it's worth more than like 3 weeks of worth.
Wow.
Holy shit.
That's
So they
wild.
just do that. They get a high level account, and then they just cut down trees all day on idle, and they're just like, fuck yeah.
That's sick.
Why wouldn't I RuneScape? Brother?
So this is also on the list. I'm not sure if this is correct? That the Catholic Church would also condemn homeless people?
Not so much homeless
Sometimes.
entirely,
But they
like,
liked Santa Muerte.
depending on the reasons they wound up homeless or what they're doing while they're there. There's a certain. I mean, if you want my views on the Catholic Church, definitely, because they don't got the green to put into the coffers. But
Man.
They're just there for the shitty bread.
yep, put a cracker in your mouth, call it flesh.
Goodbye.
So
For a minute, I forgot that was a part of Catholic Mass, and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, John?
Yeah,
Like, wow, what a crazy thing.
ritual cannibalism, mainstream Christianity.
No, I realize that now. I just blanked on it, and I was like, that was a wild statement.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how I can't kill my friends for God, but I can eat his son? I can't kill my friends
You can kill your friends.
for Quetzalcoatl?
You can kill your friends. You can kill your friends. It's okay.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
It's okay, Sam. You can really kill your friends. My door's unlocked. You can kill your friends.
I know it is.
I can sit here all night.
You have a guard cat that's the size of like a baby bear.
Kind of is.
In the worshippers' eyes, they've created worship based on realism and accepting reality for what it is rather than forcing an ideal that they can't hope to achieve. So Santa Muerte shrines can be found in prison cells, drug houses, and cartel hideouts. It's fun. Some fun places.
Yeah, and it's
Some
for
fun Foley in the background.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The sound of a prison cell.
it's for some of these reasons. I imagine that the church doesn't want to associate with prison cells, drug houses, and cartel hideouts, which is probably where they need Jesus most.
Yeah.
But they don't like it, so these people
Take the other
worship a saint that gets them vibes.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like
Can we get a vibe check?
creating a worship based on realism and accepting reality for what it is makes for a much happier life.
Oh, well, I think
More
the Catholic
grounded.
Church also thinks that.
Well, the Catholic Church kind of
They're
vibes.
forcing the ideal part that they're like, I don't know. I like that part though.
In one particularly grisly case in March of 2012, Sonora State Police said they arrested 8 for the human sacrifice of 1 woman and 2 10-year-old boys to Santa Muerte. That's
Jesus Christ.
fucked.
There's a few murders that are tied to Santa Muerte worship.
Wow.
A few. Highlight a few.
All right.
Not a few as in that's a lot. A few as in a lot of people do that. Like, look up to her. And a lot of them are,
Yeah.
bad guys.
Yeah, sounds like it. I mean, so it says these criminals and cartel-related ties make the practice questionable, which makes sense if they're just going to be offing people.
Questionable.
It's really questionable. Some say it's used as a tool from criminal leaders to establish support and obedience from lesser criminals, and I say that would be pretty effective.
Yeah, that's like a pretty common, like cult leaders and everything. They go to religion to manipulate people to follow them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's an act of.
I'm not saying that's definitely what it is. I don't know. I'm sure I'm not going to speak to the criminals that are part of this because they scare the shit out of me. But like everything, I'm sure there's true believers. I'm sure there's people who use it as a tool. You find that in any religion in God's green earth. All 2.5 globes of it.
That loincloth clad 2-sphere earth.
It all comes down to the loincloth.
It's a funny thing, man.
It's loincloths all the way down, really.
Well, I hope.
Oh, shit.
Well, so you're saying you're wearing a baby's bib and a loincloth?
Where's the
all the
bib?
way down, baby. You said all the way down.
Well, that just sounds like a tunic.
It's a tie that's really long.
Well, now we're
Both
getting into the
sides.
philosophical debate of where does the loincloth stop and the tunic
Where does the
end.
loincloth begin? The loincloth never ends. Ouroboros, baby.
So, Santa Muerte worship started in Mexico, got yelled at by the church, and it's worked its way up here into the United States. And there's a Santa Muerte cult established around 2005, brought in by Mexican and Central American immigrants. And there's an estimated tens of thousands of devotees in the U.S. by 2012, particularly in cities with high Hispanic populations. You'll see it a lot in the Southwest, up into the Bay Area of California. Nice. And, I mean, honestly, the entire concept, the imagery, the story is extremely compelling and interesting. More so than most saints I've read about, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
One killed a dragon, pretty neat. Bunch of them just like found a bag of nickels and gave them back to the nickel owner, and they were just like, "Dear God, you have been sent by God."
One guy, they were just like, he had no skin. Give it to him, baby. That's a saint.
Santa
Toe to tip, no skin.
Toe to tip, no skin. Basically, what we got here is just an incredible depiction of death. One that I'm glad is the one that we zeroed in on for this episode, because we got.
Yeah.
Listen, folks. I'm not gonna say when or even if we will do any more of these, but we got some fuel, baby. We got some. We're gonna cook up us a nice fire.
Some drunken gumbo.
Some drunken gumbo. Well, yeah, some drunken gumbo. I think gumbo is an appropriate line to draw from what I want to do next on this list. But that's it for Santa Muerte. We're going to let that sink in. That's if you get it, you get it, and you might not get it.
Even we've said it a couple times so far. So, I mean, I would definitely say, like, the worship of Santa Muerte is fucking awesome as long as you're not killing people. And
you can kill a few people.
They're bad people, then it's just Dexter.
Listeners, you can kill a few people.
Don't.
No, our legal team actually said we can't use that joke.
I like
you can
John,
go ahead.
John is like, I don't want to say the word cartel on the podcast, but at the same time, I will say homicide. Do it.
The thing is, the cartel will come and kill me, but I'm just telling people. I'm not telling them to go people. I'm saying you can kill a couple.
Shout out Pat Nestor.
Shout out Pat Nestor.
No relation whatsoever.
Shit.
That was Santa Muerte. We got a new episode after this one. It's going to be sick and tight. I really wonder what it's about. Thank you for listening. We're glad to be back again. Shout out Pat Nestor.
Shout out Pat Nestor.
A couple people.
Shout out Pat Nestor.
Episode 4, baby.
You can kill a couple people. Shut up, Pat Nestor. Unrelated. I'm John Cannon.
No, I'm John Cannon.
No, I am Sam Harris.
You ruined.
I am John Harris.
Well, no, that's
The
me.
Lynchy.
Oh,
We
no.
were waiting to announce our tri-marriage.
Triple
episode.
marriage.
Well, cat's out of the bag here.
We've had a wedding
back
on
in.
this show.
Yay!
Me,
Haven't
Sam,
opened that cat in a couple months, guys.
We're saving that for the Christmas episode of 2020. Yay!
Just in
Tune
time
in.
for Super Bowl.
I married my friends.
There you go.
Hey, I got a question during the break. Now that John's not here,
Yeah.
do you think monkeys ever tried to milk a cow? Like, you ever think about that?
No.
Do you think ever a monkey was just like, what a weird nipple dick? And then it comes out, and then he's just like, might as well try it.
You mean like in the wild?
I'm like, at any point.
Wild cows.
That's what I was like.
Why is that crazy?
There's no
Where the
chance
fuck
that they
do you think
exist
cows
together.
came from?
They don't live
You didn't make
close to
them
each
in a
other.
lab.
That's it. They don't live close to each other.
Obviously.
I mean, like, given the right, if they were like in the same environment, absolutely, I think they would.
Yeah, do you think they'd be like?
I absolutely think.
I'm not saying.
I think they would see the baby cow like suckling at the teat of that, and then they'd be like, "I want."
They'd be like, "I could be a cow."
Yeah, they're like, "Absolutely, I could be a cow."
Hey, Grung, you want to try to suck that weird titty dick? The cow has?
You know, they get like the guy that they just all hate. They all hate the guy the most, and then he's just like, "Give it a Chad. He'll eat anything."
Yeah, give it to Chad.
Go lick that.
He'll eat anything.
Cow
Give it
dick.
to Chad. He's the fucking lab monkey that's like chiefing cigarettes. He's just like, fuck me, dude. But yeah, I don't think they were lactose tolerant, but I think a monkey at one point, like a chimp.
I feel like once monkeys get past a certain point in life, they can't process milk because technically humans shouldn't be able to. Technically, humans shouldn't be able to. Mammals aren't. I feel like they don't drink milk.
I looked it up, Toria. I couldn't find it. I couldn't. Nobody's done this research, Toria, because it would include a bunch of people in lab coats looking at a monkey and a cow in a room and being like, "It's gonna happen eventually."
I googled this and I now see a baby monkey suckling on a teat, and I didn't really want to see that.
Baby monkey don't count.
What animal was the teat?
Baby monkey.
A monkey.
Baby monkey.
We don't care about monkey on monkey
chimpanzee.
teat action. We care about monkey on cow
Baby
action.
monkey.
Shit.
Full ass chimpanzee looks at a cow one day and says, "I'm gonna try the weird stomach dicks this
Oh.
I think he would eat the cow. That.
It would do both. It would probably get the milk and say, "Well, I'm hydrated. Time to fuck up this cow. Rip its face off."
Hey guys.
Hi.
There's a video of a chimpanzee milking a cow.
That's fine. Can we record a podcast?
Why does it? That's a snake.
Oh shit, you're right. I don't know what a snake is.
Cow.
It's like
That's a long tubular cow.
I really don't know why
cow.
it's that picture. That's not
Band name.
what
Band
is
name.
happening.
Tubular cow.
Funny dash
Tubular
monkey
cow.
milking the cow, and it's a bunch of monkeys with sticks gonna fuck up
A snake in what looks like fucking Despero.
And what
Cobra.
looks like fucking clear Photoshop. There's a baboon the size of a marmoset with a rock.
Awesome. They're big.
I can't tell if he's got like a fucking football or like a weird lettuce wrap.
Can we just play the video?
Can we just fucking record a
let's try
podcast?
to
I want to watch the video now.
Stop making me laugh.
Look
Right,
at like
We did
milking
get some
the
good
cow.
ramble
Is that
for
a move? For
the end
is
of
that
the
a move
podcast
they do when they like beat the shit out of the snake? This is like so far off topic. Like
It's Sam's fault.
whacking day.
The Simpsons?